Welcome to week 3 art therapy with watercolor. So today we're going to look at how to increase our confidence. Thanks again to Nami and Array Parity for sponsoring this project. So for this project, this um, session, you're going to need 3 brushes, um, a flat brush, a round brush, and a rigger, a script brush. Look like this, rigger. Okay. And um, a flat a palette knife as well. So um, confidence is a learned attitude. You know in your life that there are people that have lots of money, power, possession, but they don't feel confident in themselves. So if you base on material, external things to feel confident around about yourself, it won't last long. But ground yourself in your own reality, your self knowledge. If I know that I'm a good teacher, if I know that what I can use my voice to speak for those that can't voice their rights, or I can ground in the ability that I can empower other people or build people up, I can be more confident in myself. Okay. So with this technique, be bold with your color, be more, take more risk of doing that. So these are the images that I will be demonstrating using palette knife and lots of dark colors in watercolor. And then here's another one using palette knife to scratch and create. So um, do a variety of different ones. All right. So stay tuned and enjoy. To increase confidence in our ability to paint or in ourselves, we need just to be bold and just go for it and not afraid of making mistakes. So today we're going to combine both wet brush and dry brush. So with wet brush, I'm going to wet the top half of the uh, paper, okay? And I'll use this flat, 1 inch flat um, brush and move back and forth so I can have all the water even. And I'm going to use a medium brush, clean, dip in water, and the paint I already spray it. So I'm going to pick up some blue, some purple, some magenta, and kind of circulate it and move it around the top here. Clean my brush, add a little bit water to it because I do want some other color. So clean my brush. I want to add a little yellow to it. And I'm tapping, so I'm not mixing the paint because I don't want the sky turn green when the um, yellow mixing with the blue. Okay, so clean my brush and knowing how much, a little bit orange, knowing how much paint. So I have a little orange here. So I'm going to wipe it up. I'm just a little bit. Oh, I don't need a whole lot. So I'm putting there a little bit. Just on the edge here of the paint palette. And you can, if it's too much, you can always lift it up. So I just add a little water to it. So it's dilute down. Okay, there we go. Okay, I might add a little bit of different, this turquoise blue, not too much. I'm picking up a little here and move it in there a little bit. There we go. I'm doing it fast, but you can take time doing this. Okay, so now here is the being bold. Okay, so down here is dry. So this is called dry brush. Dry brush is when you paint on dry paper. And I'm really digging into this sienna brown. And I'm just kind of spreading it around here. So when I'm drag it along, because it's not um, the paper is not wet, so it's creating this wonderful textures. So same thing, I'm going to um, rag in there a little bit brown. Let me spray a little bit. Okay, so get up some brown there, and it, I can tell it's too much. If it's too wet, see, then it won't creating those kind of with the whole textures to it. Okay, a little bit brown and black, and then a little bottom. So I'm building up layers, and you can see depth and um, that. Okay, let's add some a little bit blue and green here and there, not too much. So I'm holding the brush sideways like this and keep going back and forth. Okay, clean my brush and using palette knife, I'm scratching. The paint is damp, so I'm scratching into that and creating these textures. This is okay. Sorry. Okay, so now um, same round brush. What I'm going to do is show you a different textures. So I'm going to dry it and smash it out. A good brush will let you spread it out, and so pound it down on the paper towel or my rag, and see how it flare out like this. Okay, so I'm going to go in and get some green, this green here, and some green. And I will make sure that it's not clumpy, so a little bit wet, so I can tell it. So I'm like getting some paint off the brush. So I'm kind of sparingly, kind of dapping, like doing the straight down motion there. Here we go. So I'm not going to wipe off the paint because it's dry. So I'm going to pick up a little blue because with it, so there's some um, shadow on top of the green. So the blue adding into the green, see that? So you can have some texture, some depth in there. Okay, so clean my brush. Okay, wipe it out clean. And then now I'm going to use a rigger. So it's a script brush. So here I'm going to pick up a little black or a little brown. So we can, it's the same with this, but now we have paint on our brush. Pick up a little black in there. So very dry. The drier your brush, the better um, um, stroke you can have. Okay, so now let's make it into some cattail. So I'm going to pick up paint and just kind of thicken up some part. Oops, that's too much. Okay, we can lift it. So clean your brush. Let me use a smaller um, round brush. Let's use this Um, this one. So, so just wet my brush and I go in with kind of damp brush and I'm scrub away the part that I don't want. See that? Okay, so let's go back to this textures, this pounding textures with colors. So I'm clean my brush and pound it down. So I want to add some color on the top there. So orange is my bright color, a little bit red, but so see how much paint I have on here. Wipe it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to kind of here and there just mash it down. So, okay, clean that out and do the same with red. There we go. Maybe go back in and do some yellow. Let's do this bright yellow. So make sure clean my brush well and pick up some yellow. Okay, I'm gonna go in and really brighten it up. Add some yellow on top of the orange so it kind of makes it into bright orange. There we go. Okay, so that's one demonstration of um, being confident. The next one we'll do something kind of landscape, but we'll use the palette knife to create rocks. Okay, again, now this is why I have 2 cups of water, one clean one and one dirty one. So clean one, I'll wet the top half of the paper, and then now I want different color of the sky. So let's do some bright blue, a little bit, maybe a little bit orange on here. Notice how I'm holding my brush all the way by here. So when I'm flicking back and forth, it's very natural and flexible. Okay, let's clean my brush and add a little bit blue, just tiny bit in there because you don't want to mix too much the blue into the yellow or the orange. Make green or mud. Okay, so this is dry, so I like that texture there. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so now I'm going to create some rocks and water here. Okay, so a little water on my brush. I'm going to go in and really load up my brush with black. See how dark that is, and just smashing it down. Okay, so that's my clip there. Okay, so clean my brush. Okay, I'm going to go in with some of this teal and green. Again, really load up. And I'm go in there a little bit, here and there, clean my brush. So what I'm doing is I'm placing some of the rock color in there. Some sienna brown. Okay, so while this one you have to work fast. So while it's still damp, you want to hold your palette knife sideways like this. So you want to use this edge here, this one, this, use that to scrape. Okay, so put my finger right here, and I'm going to do like jagged scrape like that. Wipe the so short, different angle. Okay, and it's kind of blending away those ending. There we go. Okay, so while waiting for that part to dry, here we're going to do water, but to do on dry paper. This is dry brush, not like the sky wet. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of damp brush, not too wet, and pick up this blue, medium, not too much. And then the way I'm holding it right here is I'm leaning my pinky side against the tabletop and holding it, I'm airbrush first. So like that. Okay. See that? So I have a straight line. Okay. Again, keep the brush dry. Little teal green, blue in there. Not too much. And dark blue. So you can build it up. Okay, a little bit darker. There we go. But it's dry. So, okay. Right down here is good, but here is too wet. So let me show you. Use the same technique with the palette knife. So instead of like doing jagged line, so I'm just using the tip of it. So I'm holding it up a little bit more and scratching across like that. So see that? Okay. And then maybe some rock on this edge here and here. Okay. So um, I'm going to turn it upside down to do a tree, kind of a winding tree. Okay, so this one I'm going to use um, rigger. So I'm pick up some green and black and brown. So the color, this is the trunk of the tree, but I don't want it too black. I want it dark, you know, but not black. Okay, so then I'm holding it here. So be bold. So here's my trunk. Okay, I'm going to turn it sideways like this. And see the way I'm holding it, the move it over here. The brush halfway, not way back here. So as I move along, I'm twisting it a little bit, twisting it back and forth, the brush. So adding some more whitey, kind of curly branches and have some kind of going different direction. Let's make this here a little bit thicker. Okay, remember that pounding brush, the medium brush. So I'm going to do like maple orange. So pick up a little bit. So holding straight like this. So I'm hoping you can see it. So straight down and pound a little bit. Add a little bit of yellow to it. It's too wet, so not too. I'm not pounding it too hard. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to use a medium brush. Okay, never leave the brush in your water. Always lay it down flat. Okay, so I'm going to wet the trunk a little bit. And then using my palette knife, so I will scratch into that, some textures in the tree trunk. See that? Okay, I'm done. So have fun practicing this, both of this um, bright and building up your confidence. See you next week.